YouTube, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the show. Look, XRP is setting up for a move that we haven't seen since the early cycle altcoin seasons. And 99% of the market, it is sleepwalking right past it. What's happening right now, it is bigger than people actually realize. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why XRP might be the best play on the entire board. Let's lock in. This is one you're not going to want to miss. And we're going to start right here. My man JD says it best. Look, this is the moment right here, exactly right now, where the smart money separates itself from the crowd. Every cycle, we see the same exact dance. I've been here 8 years. Nothing has changed. Bitcoin tops, liquidity rotates into Ethereum, and then XRP at the high beta alt, it rips fast. It happens faster than people expect. And every time it catches retail completely off guard. And look, when Bitcoin tops, altcoins rocket. But then in the majority, they get used as exit liquidity. That's just how the game works. But the difference is you're here early. You are seeing this all happen in real time. And look, I'm going to be straight with you. I'm taking profits on my bags, exactly what the smart money does. I've never had anyone complain to me or came back to me and they were upset because they took profits. It doesn't work like that. Look, we're in crypto. There is no shame in the game. This is how real traders, real crypto investors, this is how they survive cycles, and this is how they stack wealth. But here's the alpha that most people are missing. Both XRP and Ethereum, it's the same setup that we've seen in every major alt season before a massive expansion phase. We seen it last November on XRP. It went up 700% from November to January. Most people, they're not going to realize it until the candles are already vertical. Look, if you want to stay ahead of these rotations, it's very simple. Tap in, lock in a one-on-one phone call with me and make sure you sign up for my freeze newsletter where we break down every moment before they develop and you get all of the news, the latest news that doesn't make it over to YouTube. Now let's put all of this into perspective. My man right here, Raul Paul, he really helps keep people level-headed. He sees the bigger picture. He understands what is going on out here. A lot of people are out there panicking. Now is not the time to panic. Now is the time to get excited and to get ready. He lays it all out for us. Look, Bitcoin in 2024, we had a 32% correction. 32% correction again in 2025. And that right now, where are we sitting? At a 28% correction. This is nothing new. You've lived through this before. I've lived through it before. If you've been here more than 6 months, guess what? This is just another day for you. Let's look at what Solana did. 47%, 67%, and now currently down 48%. How about SUI? 69%, 79%, 68%, and now it's down 64%. These charts aren't crypto dying. They're altcoins doing exactly what altcoins do before a massive trend reversal. Technicals, man, they're oversold. Go look at any chart out there. All of your technicals are pointing that we are in that oversold territory. And your sentiment, it's in the gutter. Maybe the worst I've seen probably since 2017, to be honest with you. And every time that your sentiment hits these levels, every time the charts look bad, every single time everyone is crying on the timelines, guess what? We've been right on the edge of a giant relief rally or a full-on expansion leg, whatever you want to call it, folks. All roads lead higher. Stick with me because what's about to come next, it's going to paint this entire picture together. Here's the clip. This is Mr. Paul talking about it, and you need to hear this again, especially with where the markets are. I see your comments. I see your DMs. Look, this is crypto. It goes up, it comes down, people get exhausted, they shake you out of the markets, and then it rips back up. And a majority of you are not going to be here to experience that moment because you cannot handle the volatility or you do not understand how these markets work. Listen.
Why is Bitcoin sort of not wildly off to the races yet? And it's this chart. Bitcoin is basically, this is a detrended Bitcoin, and it's basically the ISM. which is the business cycle. Remember, we've always said it's the business cycle stupid. It is always the business cycle stupid.
Always the business
And all
cycle
of these people
stupid.
who claim it's the 4-year cycle based around this and that, they don't understand the fundamental of what the business cycle is, why there's a 4-year cycle in everything. And we've explained it. We'll go through it in great detail tomorrow in our Everything Code presentation. But basically, it's following the ISM. And rates have been following the same pattern. You see, rates should have come lower. They need to come lower because we need to roll the debt. We've talked about this. That's part of the Everything Code, fundamental part. And ISM, because rates are so high, has meant that Main Street has been screwed while Wall Street's made money from debasement. Earnings versus scarce assets. This is the issue that they need to solve, and they need to get rates lower. They get rates lower. Why? Why do we have an elongated business cycle that looks like virtually no other time? It's because, and I only just found this out redoing the work on the Everything Code recently, is that in 2021-22, they actually extended the maturity of the debt from 4 years to 5 years. So that extension of the maturity of debt has pushed out the business cycle a year. The 4-year cycle this time around is a 5-year cycle. We don't know what the next one will be until we see where they all end up getting refinanced. Whether it comes back to 4 because they managed to get some stuff at the long end, or whether they shorten it because everything's in the short end. We don't know yet. But this one is a 5-year cycle.
Look, let's pause.
And this is what it looks like.
It says this is a 5-year cycle. Now, Bitcoin should likely peak in 2026, likely in Q2. Who knows what happens in Q2? That is when Trump's going to be passing out that stimulus check, throw whatever term you want it, but it was when he's going to be passing out money to anyone that makes under 100,000. What happened last time that money was given out? Markets absolutely ripped to the upside. Look, ETFs entering the market, they've killed your 4-year cycles. Absolutely killed it. Why? Because those ETFs bring in institutional money Monday through Friday, and they trade like clockwork. Look at XRP. Look at the Canary ETF. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the volume that's coming in. This thing's live. Remember, Canary's very small, a little niche company, right? Look at this. The volume spiked in this thing from 118,818 all the way to 2,800,540. That is a daily volume over 391,000 of these shares being sold. We are now sitting at an average of about $1.4 million. That's not noise. That is structural volume growth here. And we're not done, because remember, Thursday you got Bitwise. Bitwise is a much larger issuer. This is when your inflows start looking real in the market. Well, it begins repricing in the bigger ETFs coming behind it. Because remember now, next week, you got Frankie T and you got Grayscale also launching. That's going to be 4 ETFs by Monday of next week. And I believe there's one more coming right after that. So we should have about 5 before Thanksgiving actually hits. Now, look, I've showed you the inflow chart. Let's talk about the inflows. Let's do it, because this is going to be real. And you can see right here in your seed ETF, this is how much each of these is going to be bringing in volume. We're currently looking at, we can underestimate, say about, 25 million coming in daily, right? With one. Remember, these first 3 rows that are highlighted are 5 being live. Once we get the 5 live, we can start the countdown 30 to 60 days. So we're looking at by December, we should have all 5 live. Your countdown starts. Where does that put us? Towards the end of Q1 on this thing. XRP could easily hit here $3 to $4 in about 30 days, and easily all the way up to 380 to 520 within 60 days. That is if we take the lowest possible outcome from this, from the 5 ETFs going live. And we know we have 24, but if we stick with the number and we go very conservative, because I'm a very conservative type of guy. If we stay conservative on these numbers, we are looking at anywhere from $5.80 to $10.40 on these ETFs, increasing XRP's value in 60 days. Think about that, everyone. If you were told you need to wait 60 days from December 1st and you could possibly be seeing a 6 to all the way up to a double-digit XRP based upon 5 ETFs and only 5 ETFs, all bringing in pretty much underestimated volume compared to this chart and what I created here. Are you going to be mad about it? No. You're going to go live your life and get excited. You're not going to cry over the charts and start looking at the chart and worrying about what is going on. Folks, this is crypto. It is very volatile. And Dom put this out. Let me blow up the chart for you. He says Bitcoin fell over 15,000, and XRP, well, it held its November 5th local low perfectly. He stated that every time this exact setup appears, and he says he's been tracking it for months, it preceded by at least a 10% move to the upside every single time. This is all season behavior, everyone. Quiet strength, bid skews, resilient when the rest of the market bleeds. XRP is acting like something big is about to happen. And right on cue, we got a major catalyst that hit today. The XRP Income ETF is now live on the CBOE and is trading right around $25. Yes, another XRP ETF, another regulated product in the US, another green light from the US financial systems. And before you think, okay, cool though, but what does it mean? I got you, man. Let's break it down, because over on XRPrightnow.com, I created a whole article for you based upon this fund and what it actually is. So this isn't just another ETF. This is a major regulatory milestone. The CBOE approved this Amplify XRP 3% monthly premium income ETF. This is a derivatives-based fund that not only is going to track your XRP price, it's going to help generate monthly income. It uses XRP as options for swaps and derivatives, but it doesn't hold XRP directly. So you're probably thinking, so it's a nothing burger. Not exactly, because I actually broke it down into here, what it's going to do. So while the ETF itself isn't buying spot XRP, the market makers do. They buy spot XRP. They got to buy it, the spot, because they need exposure, right? They need to buy and sell spot. They need to hedge it with futures. They got arbitrage across different exchanges, and they need to build deeper liquidity infrastructure. This is exactly how the Bitcoin ETF pipeline started. If you don't know, income ETFs, future ETFs, spot ETFs, and then massive institutional capital inflows. Look, XRP is now officially in phase one. The rails are being built right under our feet. This is the groundwork for spot ETFs. And once spot ETFs hit, that's when supply shock becomes absolutely violent. Everything about this approval we're looking at, it screams one message. It's telling you that the US market is finally warming up to XRP structurally. This is a major win for us. Folks, we are entering a new chapter. It's that simple. And most people, they're not going to realize it until we're 3 to 4 times higher than this. And here's your ETF countdown, right? Bitwise is on the 20th. That's Thursday. Grayscale and Franklin are coming in on Monday, the 24th. We are still waiting for Wisdom Tree, 21 shares, and CoinShares to update their filing so their ticker, or their countdown, I should say, should start. Expect those 3 at some point in December, which is going to put us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 ETFs up and running. And remember, these companies who don't want to update their filings, they just got to wait for the SEC to come out and approve the ones that are out there. There's over 24. So let's bring this home, folks. As you go and click that link and get a call booked with me. XRP is showing early cycle strength when the rest of the market is starting to bleed out. ETFs, they're officially launching, not rumors, not speculations, but real products. Liquidity is rising, your volume is exploding. The inflow model shows mathematically justified targets far above current prices. Regulators, issuers, and major exchanges, they're all opening the doors. This is how your altcoin season ignites. This is how exactly your massive returns are going to be born. And this is the moment that people sleep on, right before everything moves at once. You need to make sure you stay sharp out there, you stay positioned, and that you stay ahead of the curve. Because when XRP finally wakes up, and it's going to wake up, folks, we didn't go 8 years to make a new all-time high by 10 cents or fall short of an all-time high, depending on where you're getting your pricing data from. It's going to wake up, and it's not going to move slowly. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, smash that like button, get into the newsletter so you don't miss the next update.